Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another vlog. Today is going to be a nighttime routine, which is a little bit different. I feel like most people were fed up with all of my barn vlogs just being during the day or morning, noon, at night all in one video and everything being super vague. So I got a lot of requests to do just a simple old nighttime routine. So I'm going to take you through how I close up shop, aka the barn, and the chores I do before I inevitably just go to bed and put the horses to sleep. To start off, I'm going to show you my last ride of the day, which is Simon over here. I'm only schooling him because he had a few lessons today, and in every single lesson he was a little bit rotten. He's already a very high-strung horse, as we already know. He's very hot-blooded, but today it was very out of character. I just want to figure out if he was being fresh or if there's a problem, if he's hurting somewhere, and we're just gonna get to the bottom of that.
Strike a rock, but nothing bleeds. You're coming to your own eventually. The distance you have wandered, the fabric torn asunder. Oh, you're coming to your own. You're coming to your own. Heaven's shade. Sail slow, give it time, it'll show.
As you can see, I tried to keep the work with him really light. I just did some flat with some poles, walk, trot, canter, and over the bridge. I couldn't see anything really wrong. I know that Simon really does not like when people have very harsh hands, so I'm gonna assume that maybe the students today were a little more tense than usual, especially with the season change. I'm just going to have to remind them and talk to them that when they are riding Simon, their hands need to be quiet. I'm still gonna give him a once-over when I get in the barn and check his spine and his legs, but from what I can see, he seems pretty okay. After coming back in the barn, we were greeted with some very hungry horses, and you can see Simon getting a little antsy too as I'm untacking him up since he's very hungry. Other than that, I really just did the normal things you do with a horse you've just ridden, you know, brush off the dirt, hose him off a little, check his legs. When I did check his legs, he was very curious as to what I was doing. I didn't feel anything abnormal, but I still decided to go ahead and throw some of our liniment gel on there just so, I don't know, just in case. I was just paranoid because some of the other horses have been having leg issues, especially Gale. We really think there's like a pothole in one of the pastures we can't find. So speaking of pastures, this is Simon and I checking the nighttime pasture schedule because I discovered he actually had to be taken out after his dinner. After turning out the rest of the horses, I needed to wrap Gale's legs. Like I said earlier, she's been having a lot of leg problems. I mean, I'm not really shocked. She is getting older and we have a suspicion she might have arthritis. We're taking her out to the vet this week just to get to the bottom of it. I was told just to put some liniment gel on there and wrap her legs until we can get a proper diagnosis. I know it might seem like we're kind of procrastinating taking her to the vet, but we did have someone come out a few weeks ago and say it might not be that serious, but if it's not getting better, then she needs a full evaluation. She's been a good girl though. She's finally officially retired. We don't even ride her anymore, and she's just living out her days being a horse. Before my last few chores of the night, I obviously have to feed the horses. I'm gonna show you how I make Gravy's feed tonight. I've shown you how I've made Bones' feed and how I've made Rainley's feed, but Gravy's is a little different because he's a very high performance horse compared to Rainley, who needed to cut a lot of weight, and Bones, who is highly stressed. As a base, I start out with some essential chaff and then about 2 cups of performance feed, which coincidentally has me and Gravy on the bag. And then at nighttime, he only gets 3 supplements, that being Ready Racer, which is just for performance horses. It helps their heart and their lungs, especially when they deal with endurance-based disciplines. Next, he gets Lovely Liver, which just supports liver function. It's a liquid supplement. It's very good for them. I give it to all of my horses, especially older ones. And then lastly, he gets Glow and Grow. It's for their coats. It makes them shiny and grow better, and because Gravy has such a very distinct, deep coat, especially in his liver chestnut spots, he really needs that support to keep him nice and shiny and really keep that pigment in there. That pretty much just sums up Gravy's feed. I now have to soak it and then give it to him. As for the other 18 horses, we actually have a stable hand plot out all of their food beforehand just to make my life a little easier, so all I have to do is go and soak them and then give them to the horses. I only set Gravy's aside because I wanted to show it to you guys, so that's why I did it on camera. After feeding, I head back outside and I go to our main arena where all of our lessons and just general riding is held. I go through, take a walk around, kick the dirt around, make sure there's nothing hidden in there. I look for lost horseshoes just in case someone might have lost a shoe and couldn't find it. We've actually been having a problem recently where I'm gonna assume younger kids have been leaving sharp pieces of metal in arenas around the area, and I'm really just paranoid that one's gonna pop up and then, you know, hit somebody's horse, and I don't know, it's just a whole thing. I do this every night anyway, I always have, but now I'm just way more diligent with it. I make sure all the poles are secure on the ground and then also put away the ones that might fly away in the wind as well. While I'm out here, I also check on our cows. We only have 3 at the moment. We used to have more, but unfortunately we lost about 5 of them in the barn fire back in November. It was really sad, and I'm just grateful we still have these 3. The reason we have them is just because my husband, he was raised a cowboy, and I feel like if we didn't have cows, he might go a little stir crazy. He teaches cutting classes and reining classes too, but not very often because he's always away for work. So these cows basically just live here and antagonize the horses. One of my final chores is to check on the chickens and feed them. These chickens are mine. Like Wade needs his cows, I need my chickens. I grew up with chickens and I've always had fresh eggs. I won't eat them any other way. It's a long story. To be truthful, my chickens are kind of jerks and they like to peck at my boots, and because I didn't want to ruin the leather, I just threw the feed over the top of the coop and called it a night. This is usually when I do a once-over of the barn and check the cameras and make sure everybody's settled. We have cameras in every inch of the barn, especially after the barn fire, and especially after Gale was stolen a few years ago. I've been paranoid ever since, I have to admit, and our security system is so advanced now, especially since we live closer to a town. It's just for my peace of mind. I can check the horses right from my phone, so I'm just going to show you how I do it. So here we can see Gale, Dash, and Narrow, and Simon's obviously missing because he was turned out. They seem pretty calm. Gale seems pretty settled, even with her bandages. Saxby at the back of the barn seems settled, along with the ponies. All very sleepy, ready to go to bed. But then we scan over to Bones and Charity, and it looks like Bones isn't very happy inside. You can see me run up to him because, again, when Bones freaks out, you have to take care of it immediately. I couldn't turn him out because he had been turned out pretty much all day, and we really don't want him to get used to it. Bones' story is very long and extensive, so I really just recommend watching my previous videos on him if you really want to understand why he's like this. He's off ranger duty at the moment because where Wade is deployed, they can't have horses. They're primarily using jeeps at the moment. I took some Calm Balm, which is just a little cream you rub on their nose. It's supposed to calm them down, and he immediately settled just the tiniest bit. I'm gonna keep an eye on him all night just to see what happens, but I think for the most part he's gonna be okay now. Then it's time to say goodnight to the horses and shut the lights off.
I have waited for you.
And that about concludes it. I'm sure you guys don't care about how I shower or my skincare or my hair products. You're primarily just here for horses. I'm gonna go shower, like I said, skincare, feed my cat, feed my dog, and then it's bedtime and TV time and doom scrolling on my phone time. Let me know if you'd like more videos like this. I could even do a morning routine if that's really something you're into. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for sticking around. I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye.
We got a love that's worth the